New voice, same woman, just harder to ignore.
I stay calm, but I decide who gets fired from the circle.
You can rewrite the story, but I always come back for the final chapter.
I don't start drama. I just finish what others begin.
I don't take sides. I expose them.
I stay in my lane until someone crashes into it.
In this city, there's a reason no one challenges me twice. Hi, this is a nice restaurant.
Hi, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm glad we can finally have this conversation in a calmer setting. I think we needed to reconnect without all the tension.
I agree. I think we let that whole situation take up too much space between us.
I'm not going to pretend that everything has been easy with Olivia. Some things she said hurt me, especially coming from someone I thought I had a connection with. But today, I'm ready to listen and move forward.
I wanted to start by telling you that I'm sorry.
I'm listening.
Looking back, I realize I was really hard on you. And honestly, some of it was uncalled for. It's hard for me to admit when I'm wrong, because I'm someone who usually stands by what I say. But with Antonella, I think I let my emotions get the better of me, and I wasn't fair.
I respect that you're able to say that.
I think I'd created an image of you in my head, and I was reacting more to that image than to the real person.
I can understand that because I've had strong reactions too. I think it's important that Olivia acknowledges her part in this. But I'm not going to play the perfect victim either. During the reunion, I said some harsh things, and some of them were clearly driven by anger. I also have to admit that during the reunion, I was very harsh with you.
Yes, some things really hurt me.
I know. And looking back, I think I could have expressed myself differently.
What's different today is that we're not trying to figure out who won the argument. We both acknowledge that we were part of the problem, and that's much more mature. I think we both hurt each other.
Yes, but I also think we needed that conversation.
I'd much rather have this conversation with you now than keep things unsaid.
Me too. Olivia and I have very strong personalities. That's probably why we clashed so much. But sometimes, the people who clash the most are also the ones who can have the most honest conversations.
I think we can start over on a healthier footing.
I agree.
And I even think the group as a whole could use a fresh start.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like we've been going around in circles with the same old stories. This group has been through a lot of intense moments. Sometimes I feel like we're getting nowhere with our old arguments weighing us down.
That's true. We need to create new memories.
Exactly. Something that takes us completely out of our comfort zone.
Do you have an idea?
Actually, I watched a documentary recently about Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yes, the scenery, the ocean, the atmosphere. I thought it would be amazing to go there all together.
Hawaii? I have to admit I like the idea. It's just what the group needs. Of course, with us, even paradise can get complicated. Honestly, I think it's a great idea.
Really?
Yes. I think we need something new.
I feel like it could give us all a fresh burst of energy. I think a trip to Hawaii would be perfect. After all the drama, conflicts, and tensions, I want us to get together somewhere where we can just enjoy ourselves.
And let's be honest, a group like ours in a paradise-like setting, that sounds promising.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because I know you.
I think I'm really going to start planning this.
I'm glad to see this progress with Olivia. I'm not saying everything's forgotten in one night, but I feel like there's a real desire to move forward. Are you serious? Are you really going to organize it?
Yes, I think this is exactly the kind of project the group needs.
Then I'm in.
I'll look into the dates, the villas, the activities, everything. So I love creating experiences. And honestly, after this eventful year, I think a trip to Hawaii could be the start of a new chapter for us.
I'm glad we can end this evening like this, with a real conversation and a new project.
So get ready, because I think our next adventure might just be in Hawaii.
Hi.
Hi, I asked you to come here because I'd rather sort things out directly with you than keep hearing about this whole thing. Kassie took a little comment and turned it into a moment of personal glory. She wants us to see her as someone who's outspoken. But sometimes there's a difference between being honest and just trying to get a reaction.
I came because I'm capable of having this conversation, but I want to be clear. I don't regret saying what I thought.
It's not just what you said. It's the way you said it.
I simply commented on your outfit. I didn't ruin your life. Savannah is acting like I committed a crime. We're talking about a comment on an outfit, not a family betrayal.
You know very well that wasn't an innocent criticism.
No, I just know you don't like it when someone dares not to compliment you.
I have no problem with criticism when it comes from someone who's sincere.
So, according to you, I'm not sincere?
Kassie thinks that saying something hurtful with a smile automatically makes it true. No, sometimes it's just meanness wrapped up in a pretty phrase. I mostly think you just wanted attention.
That's pretty ironic coming from you.
Why? We don't even know each other.
Because you're always the center of everything. Even a comment about a dress turns into a story about you. The problem with Savannah is that she thinks her image is untouchable. She wants to be admired all the time. But someone who won't accept any criticism isn't as strong as she wants people to believe.
What makes me laugh is that not even Vanessa said anything about my outfit.
And Vanessa is supposed to be everyone's role model?
No, but it just goes to show that no one felt the need to make that comment.
Or maybe no one dared to tell you.
Kassie loves to cast herself as the brave woman who says what everyone else is thinking. But often, she's just the only one looking for a chance to make her presence felt in a conversation. That's exactly the problem. You always want to be the one who drops the bombshell.
And you always want to be the one who decides who gets to speak.
I just want people to show respect.
Respect doesn't mean agreeing with you all the time. Respect? I call that wanting to control your environment. She likes people when they support her, but not so much when they talk back to her.
I think your behavior is immature.
And I think your behavior is completely fake.
Fake?
Yes. You act like you're above it all, but you're the first to make a scene when something doesn't suit you.
What's fascinating about Kassie is that she criticizes exactly the flaws she herself has. I don't know if it's irony or madness. At least I own up to it when something bothers me.
No, you only own up to it when you think you're right.
You're just refusing to admit that you've crossed the line.
Because I don't think I've gotten over them. I knew this conversation was going to end like this. Savannah isn't looking for a conversation. She's looking for an excuse to make me look like the bad guy. But I'm not going to play along with her script.
That's exactly what bothers me about you.
And that's exactly what bothers me about you.
You never take responsibility for what you say.
And you always take things personally.
I think Kassie confuses having a strong personality with having no boundaries. Being provocative doesn't make you an interesting person. Sometimes it just makes you annoying. Honestly, I think your energy is negative.
Honestly, I think your ego takes up way too much space.
I think this conversation proves exactly what I thought.
And I think it proves exactly what I thought about you. I don't regret this conversation. At least now Savannah knows I'm not just going to smile and accept her lectures.
I don't want that kind of energy around me.
Then maybe we have no business being in each other's lives.
For once, you're actually saying something true.
And to be honest, Savannah, you're not welcome at my place.
You can keep your door closed if you want. But deep down, you're just a wimp who'd rather run away than stand by your own words.
So, sweetie, do you like this restaurant?
Yes, I love it. Plus, the desserts look amazing.
I knew you'd say that. You always have a special place in your heart for dessert. These moments with my daughter are precious. In my life, there's a lot going on, a lot of responsibilities. But with her, I can just be a mom.
Mom, do you think I can have the chocolate cake?
You've barely even looked at the menu, and you've already picked out dessert.
Because I know what I want.
That's definitely where she gets it from. She's only 10, but she already has a very strong personality. She knows what she likes, she asks questions, she has her own opinions, and I love that.
Mom, are you working a lot right now?
Yes, a lot, but I always make sure to set aside time for you.
Because I miss you when you work late.
I know, sweetheart. That's why these moments are so important.
You're always doing things for other people.
That's true, but you're my priority. I want my daughter to grow up with a mom who's there for her. I want to show her that you can have dreams, work hard, and be ambitious, but that you also have to take care of the people you love.
When I grow up, I want to travel like you.
Oh, really? Where do you want to go?
Everywhere. But first, somewhere with a big pool.
That's a very important criterion.
Of course.
I love your sense of priorities. What I love about her is that she reminds me to enjoy the simple things. Sometimes the best moments aren't the big events, but just dinner and a conversation with your child.
Mom, what were you like when you were my age?
I was curious, a little chatty, and probably just as stubborn as you.
So I take after you.
Exactly, you have no choice.
I'm glad we get to do this together.
Me too. I love our little moments together.
Even when I pick the biggest dessert,
Especially when you pick the biggest dessert.
I knew you'd agree.
I think that's what happiness means to me. Being able to put everything aside for a few hours and just enjoy her company. She's growing up so fast, so I want to savor every moment. Enjoy it, because tomorrow we're back to our usual routine.
Okay, but today is our night.
I'm really glad we're all together tonight. I wanted us to have a nice time, without necessarily dwelling on all the drama.
Exactly. I think I have an idea that could help us start fresh on a positive note.
When Olivia starts a sentence like that, I know there's a plan behind it.
You know me too well.
We're all ears, sweetie.
After my dinner with Antonella earlier this week.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sweetie.
Anyway, we talked about how we all needed a change of scenery. I'd like to organize a trip to Hawaii. I sincerely think this group needs a moment to breathe. We've spent a lot of time resolving conflicts, explaining our intentions, and defending ourselves. A trip like Hawaii would be a blessing.
We figured that a change of scenery could really shift the energy between us.
Hawaii is an amazing idea. I'm totally on board.
I think it's great. We deserve a little lightheartedness.
I'm not going to lie. It sounds tempting.
For once, we're talking about a plan that doesn't start with an argument.
Now we just have to see if we can manage not to pack our problems in our suitcases.
I'm all for it. It might be exactly what we need.
I knew you guys would love the idea.
Then again, who would say no to a trip to Hawaii?
I just have one question before we start planning.
Go ahead.
Will Savannah be coming with us?
Yes, of course.
I thought that given what happened between Savannah and Kassie, it might be complicated.
That's exactly why I'm asking. She's not here tonight. When someone's missing from a party, it's never just because they couldn't make it. And I can swear they've all been wondering about her absence.
I think you want to know what happened between Savannah and me.
Yes, because we can tell there's something going on.
We met up at the park to talk.
And how did it end?
Badly, very badly.
Am I surprised? Of course not.
She wanted to have a real conversation with me after just a little comment.
Wait, are you talking about the comment you made about her outfit?
Yes, and I stand by it.
So you still think it was necessary?
I think I had the right to express my opinion.
An opinion can also hurt someone. What annoys me about Kassie is that she loves to use the word opinion as a shield. But sometimes it's not just an opinion. It's a way to put someone down while trying to come across as the honest one in the group.
I find it interesting that you're jumping right to Savannah's defense.
I'm mainly standing up for what I think is right.
No, you're standing up for Savannah because you like her and not me.
And you're simply refusing to admit that you crossed a line.
Because I don't think I crossed that line, that's all. People often expect me to be the one to apologize first. But in this situation, I'm not going to apologize just to appease everyone else. I can see that Savannah didn't like my comment, but I refuse to deny what I was thinking.
I think we should also hear Cassie's side of the story without assuming she's necessarily in the wrong.
Listening to her side doesn't mean forgetting what happened.
I never said that.
Yet here you are, already jumping in to defend her.
Because I feel like we're already trying to pin the blame on someone.
As soon as someone has a conflict, everyone wants to pick a side. Personally, I think you can support someone without necessarily turning a blind eye to everything, and that's what I'm trying to do.
I'm not looking for someone to blame, Caroline. I'm simply saying that certain words have consequences.
And I'm simply saying that a situation is never as simple as one person being wrong and another being right.
Maybe, but there are still limits.
Yes, and there's also a right way to talk to people. Andrea is very convinced by her own version of events. She often thinks that her feelings automatically become the truth. And that's the real problem.
I just think some people are always looking for an excuse when it comes to their friends.
Is she kidding? How many people has she defended just out of friendship? Solange, Melania, Nayla, Barbara for 24 hours, Vanessa.
And some people are always looking for a reason to be right.
I think we're starting to go in circles.
Maybe, but Savannah was hurt.
Okay, Dr. Ballardy, all healed up now then?
Kassie, please.
You, Olivia. I find it interesting that you're chiming in now.
Why?
Because when Savannah was involved, you were much less present.
I wasn't part of that conversation.
But now that everyone's here, you want to even things out.
I'm not trying to avoid anything. I'm just trying to be fair.
It's easy to be fair when you're not directly involved.
I think it's unfair to say that.
What bothers me is that we're talking as if Savannah and I aren't two adults capable of handling a discussion.
But you can't deny that your words caused this situation.
I feel like some people want to make me take all the blame because it's easier. Ladies, I'm already speaking up for you. I'm not going to take the fall for your sins for crying out loud. I admit she might have been hurt, but I refuse to be portrayed as a mean person.
That's exactly what I'm trying to explain.
Caroline, I get your point, but I feel like you're taking this whole thing way too personally.
What is she even talking about? Where did that come from? Simply because I feel like we're not really listening to Kassie.
Or maybe you're so eager to defend Kassie that you refuse to hear the other side. Caroline always wants to be the reasonable one in the group. But sometimes, she gets so caught up in defending someone that she forgets to take a step back, unless it's to walk away from the table.
I could say exactly the same thing about you.
I'm not taking sides. I'm just giving my opinion.
But Caroline has the right to give her opinion too. You're being weird.
I never said otherwise.
Still, the way you talk to her makes it seem like you're criticizing her for getting involved. Honestly, if the goal is to figure out who should defend whom, who should support whom, we might as well stay here. I don't want that kind of energy in Hawaii.
I just think there are people who really love to meddle in other people's business.
That's pretty funny coming from you.
Why?
Because that's exactly what you're doing right now.
No, I'm sitting at this table, so I'm giving my opinion. Antonella really likes to step in when she feels someone is being attacked. But sometimes, she doesn't realize that by trying to defend someone, she's creating new tension. At some point, you also have to know when to let people handle their own conflicts, Antonella Mandela.
And Caroline, too.
I just think she's making a big deal out of it, way too much.
And I think you're downplaying it. Way too much.
I think we're completely forgetting why we're all here tonight.
I agree, but I still wanted to say what I thought.
With this group, we can start the evening with a travel announcement and end up resolving all the problems that have piled up.
That's exactly why I wanted to organize this dinner. I wanted us to be able to get together for something other than conflicts.
And I think it's important that we remember why we're all still in each other's lives. Despite everything we're going through, there's genuine affection in this group. We can criticize each other, argue, and disagree, but we always come back to each other. That's probably what makes our dynamic so complicated.
I agree. But I also think we shouldn't pretend that certain things never happened.
I'm not asking anyone to forget. I'm simply asking that we stop reducing me to that story. I'm not just the person who had a disagreement with Savannah. I'm a whole person, with my strengths and weaknesses, and I'd like people to remember that too.
I can see where you're coming from, but I think honesty is still important.
Yes, but honesty doesn't necessarily mean getting stuck in the conflict.
That's exactly the point. We can acknowledge a mistake and still move forward.
I agree, but I think we've all understood each other's positions. But I don't want this group to become a place where every dinner feels like a crisis meeting. At some point, we also need to know how to enjoy the good times, and I hope that'll be the case in Hawaii.
And actually, we were supposed to be talking about Hawaii.
Yes, let's get back to something positive.
That's exactly why this trip is a good idea.
Are you sure it's a good idea?
For them? I don't know. But for me, yes.
I really want to plan something that everyone will enjoy.
A nice house, a beautiful beach, and a little peace and quiet. That's all I'm asking for. I'm glad Olivia came up with this idea, but I also know that going away together will bring a lot to light. Vacations are often when people's true personalities come out.
I think it could do us good to make some new memories.
Especially after everything we've just been through. I think we sometimes forget that before the arguments, there's a real bond between us. We can be frustrating, complicated, and sometimes exhausting, but there's also genuine affection. I want to rediscover that part of our group.
And I hope we can go on this trip without dragging every old issue along with us.
This trip is coming at just the right time. I hope everything goes well, But Hawaii or not, if anyone's looking for me, they'll find me. That's for sure.
I think we just need to show up with a better attitude.
Yes, but that also requires everyone to make an effort.
I'm going to start looking at the villas and activities.
I'll help you. I really want this trip to be a special time.
This trip means more than just a vacation at this point. Between Caroline and Andrea, Vanessa and me, Caroline and half the group, and now Savannah and Kassie. I want us to reconnect in a way we've sometimes lost amid our arguments. I can help with the planning too.
I just want you all to have fun. Let me handle the rest.
Thanks. That's nice of you.
I think we all need this. I'm glad this evening didn't end with just conflict. I don't think everything's been resolved with Savannah or the rest of the group, but at least we've been able to move forward. Or pretend to.
I feel like this trip is going to be memorable.
I think we're going to make some really beautiful memories.
And I hope they'll be beautiful for the right reasons.
With us, I think it's bound to be eventful. I know this trip will be interesting and intense. Hawaii, here we come, baby.
So let's get ready for Hawaii.
I'm so excited. I need to find some outfits.
I need a major shopping spree.
Even me, I swear.
Well, swimsuits, light dresses, sunglasses.
Mom, why did you take out all your summer stuff? Are you going somewhere?
Yes, I'm going to Hawaii with the girls.
Wait, Hawaii? Like the real Hawaii with the beaches and palm trees?
Yes, the real Hawaii. Well, in my case, with lots of discussions and probably a few arguments, too. I'm really happy to be going because I think we need a change of pace. But I know my group. With us, even choosing a room can become a topic of debate. Hawaii is beautiful, but I know this trip is also going to test our relationships.
What happened? Because judging by the look on your face, this isn't just about a suitcase.
Dinner at Kassie's was intense. We talked about Savannah, Kassie, everything that happened at the park.
So to sum it up, you go to heaven after having a fight?
Put that way, it sounds completely absurd.
Because it is a little bit.
I just think some people have a hard time letting things go. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to be understood. What sometimes wears me out in this group is that we all have very strong personalities. We all want to be heard, but sometimes no one really takes the time to listen. And I include myself in that. I can stand up for my opinions, but I also need to learn to take a step back.
Mom, I'm going to tell you something. This really reminds me of my group in high school.
Your group in high school?
Yeah, there was always one girl who would make a comment, another who would take sides, and another who said she was neutral but was still involved.
Are you comparing my adult friends to your high school friends?
I'm just saying that people get older, but the drama stays the same.
That's harsh coming from my own daughter.
But it's true.
I love that Jade is able to tell me things without holding back. Of course, she's exaggerating a little because she's my daughter and she likes to tease me. So what's your advice as a leading expert on human relationships?
Stop taking everything so seriously.
That's your big piece of advice?
Yes, when my friends in high school were arguing, I'd do my homework, eat my chips, and let them work out their problems.
I'm not exactly going to eat chips while Andrea and Vanessa are arguing.
Why not? It could be your moment of peace.
Can you really picture my mom sitting in a corner with a bag of chips while they're fighting? I think Jade is right about one thing. Sometimes I get way too involved in other people's drama. But sometimes you also have to be able to look at a situation and tell yourself, this isn't my problem to solve.
Honestly, Mom, go to Hawaii, have fun, get a tan, eat well, and let them do their fight.
Is my daughter telling me to get less involved in the drama?
Yes. I think even I, at age 17, would have figured that out faster.
I'm going to take one thing away from this conversation. Hawaii should be a pleasure, not a diplomatic mission. You know you're being pretty sassy for someone who still asks me for help with her homework.
Maybe, but at least I'm not holding a crisis meeting over an outfit.